You need to unmute, Gladys.
Yes, I'm on mute. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone around the world. Thank you so much having you here with us today. It's always a beautiful moment wherever we are gathered. Special thanks to my co-host Lini Nakamoto, Mari, our Otech pros, Vincent, Bob, Oliver, and Collins, and Jeffrey, and all the attendees. We are gathered here today with an excitement to learn something new about a multi-regional data center. But before we begin, our special thanks goes to our CEO, Mr. Ash Mufare, who is the reason that we are gathered here today. He created a business that is really going to touch humanity around the world, a business that is AI embedded, AI with heart, a business that was started with a vision to reach every corner of the world to bring change. OnPassive is the name of our business, and we are an IT company, which is most of the work is automated. We are so excited to be in this business because, as most likely like many of you, I could not be able to recruit. I'm not good in marketing. So I needed something that can be done for me. And so our CEO came up with a business that is automated, that is hands-free, whereby once we come in as founders, we take that position by paying $97 from plus any bank fees that we are charged. The company goes to work for you. The company will advertise for us, will create websites for us, will sell for us, and when it makes any revenue, any earnings, that's how the company is going to share the profits. And our CEO has said that he will give a generous compensation. We don't have the specific numbers, but we are at peace because we have seen how OnPassive has grown from 2018 to now. About 50 products and more coming. We are so excited. And so I thank all the guests who are here today. And if someone invited you to be here, know they invited you because they care about you. You are not here by accident. You are here for a purpose. We value in OnPassive, we value integrity, we value family, we value friendship, we value love, we value honesty, and our CEO has encouraged us to be good citizens. We are the ones who can bring the change that we desire for ourselves, for our families, for our communities and cities, and for our countries. And eventually it will be for the whole world, touching humanity, changing one life at a time. So for now, I welcome my co-host Lynn Nakamoto, who is going to moderate most of the meeting today, to also say something, and welcome our great presenters today. Welcome, Lynn Nakamoto. Thank you.
Thank you, Gladys, for that great introduction. It was wonderful. Welcome, everyone, to the OnPassive Kenya webinar. This is a weekly webinar held every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. So please join us again, and we hope to provide good value for all of you. Today, our topic is multi-region data centers and data centers in general. We have a great crew for you. These are IT professionals, 4 of them in particular, with a combined professional experience of over 90 years. Yes, that is 90 years. So these people are not just scholars, they're actually working in the field. They live and breathe IT. So what you're gonna hear from them is current information. They are the best. And we also have Jeffrey Morlack with us today. He has kindly agreed to speak with us. He may not be an IT professional, but let me tell you what, he loves technology and he calls himself a quote unquote geek in a great way. I love it, I love it. So Jeffrey will also be speaking with us today. We're excited about that. And we shall begin now with Oliver Fonte. He's going to begin with an introduction on this topic.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Kenya. And hi, my brothers and sisters that are here. I want to say hi to Mr. Jeffrey, the geek, my dear brothers, Collins, Bob, Vincent, Lane, Nakamoto, You are a wonderful woman, and the tech mom. So our topic for today is multi-region data center. Multi-region data center, our CEO has nailed it. He has nailed it because the cost that we would have paid for any other environment would have been too much. But let me give a layman understanding or definition of what multi-region data center means. It means that we are going to have, OnPassive is going to have multiple data center in multiple locations. I know he told us last time that we are going to have our data center in the whole continent and then down to the regions also. That is what we call multi-region data center. This is huge because it comes with the availability. The availability now is an easy access wherever you are in this world to have access to our data. Any company, any customers that we have, remember we are 200, we have 200 countries in OnPassive all over the world. And in that 200 countries all over the world, we have a data center there. This is mind-blowing. This is mind-blowing. And it's something that for a company like OnPassive, like the CEO told us, that we are starting from the sky. It is true, and even that for me is an understatement. For a company to start with a data center that we are going to have control over our data is mind-blowing. And the data center is also scalable because it comes with 1 billion capacity. 1 billion, that can take 1 billion customers or users or people or whatever. Not only that, the 1 billion people can be working using any application or product at the same time. At the same time, our savers will be looking at you. They will not even blink. They will say, hey, you come. Yeah, they're waiting. The CEO told us the other time, that was last week or a week ago, that they've been testing. Zero risk. We are standing on a very, very comfortable and from the sky. We are starting from the sky. When you talk about multiple region data center, you also talk about, you will not talk without talking about disaster recovery, business continuity. Disaster recovery means that if this data center here shut down in the United States, the one in Japan will pick it up, or the one in Europe will pick it up. Automatic, nobody will even understand what is going on. So you see that there's replication. This is something that we have to really thank our CEO. Then our multi-region data center, they are also hybrid. Hybrid means that you have a data center that the data center is on-prem, and is connected to the cloud, virtual. That's why it's called hybrid. It's connected the on-prem. The on-prem means that it's down the site, then it's connected now to the cloud, which is virtual. That virtual now make us to understand that you can access it anywhere, from banks, insurance company, name it. They all come to us. When you also talk about business continuity, means that maybe my brother Bob will get into that also in a short while. There's zero failure. Zero failure. I'll leave that. Uncle Bob will take care of that. Now let me go into data sovereignty. Data sovereignty now, since we are multi-region, our data is multi-region data center. We are in multiple locations all over the world. We have to comply to each region, their policy, their standard, and the regulation. Like the European, they do have the Gdpr, which is General Data Protection Regulation, that the European now, you have to protect. That is the law. That is European law, except the UK now, they're out of it. I don't know. I don't want to get into that angle. But the GDPR now, in any part of this world that there's a European, that data has to be protected. And our CEO, he has done it. We also have the international standard regulation called the ISO 27001 and ISO 27002. we are also part of it. I can remember he told us one time about another regulations that will comply with, I think it's I can't remember that. But let me go now into the technology that is involved. We have the best of technology that is connected to us. Let me start from our saver. We have the best saver that has the capability also with artificial intelligence from scratch. Tell me why the CEO will not say that we are starting from the top. Now comes the fiber optic cables, the best of the cables in the whole planet. It's very expensive. It's the most expensive cable that you can think of on this planet today. Fiber optic comes with its security, comes with its speed, brightness of pictures. Then comes what again? Comes 5G. That is also part of it. Name it. Tell me why we are not starting from the top. Come again, we have our internet protocol, version 4 to version 6. The version 6 comes with its own security. Look at our omail.ai. We have our omail.ai. Compare it with Gmail, Yahoo. Gmail and Yahoo, they do have spams and junk folder. Go to your back office and look at omail.ai. There is no junk and there is no spam. Because Internet Protocol version 6, which is IP version 6, comes with that security. Fiber optic cable comes with that security. Artificial intelligence comes with its own security. Our integration and automation. So you see that all our technology that comes with individual security. You cannot even penetrate our firewalls. We can penetrate your own firewalls, but you cannot penetrate our firewalls. This is mind-blowing. So let me go also in depth in some other security part of OnPassive technology and system. When our CEO came out and said that downtime, uptime, 0 and 100% secured, it meant every blessed word that he was saying. We do have automated detection action. This one is the security partner of it. It dictates any alert, future alert that wants to come in. It has already dictated it. It will never even penetrate our firewalls. Come now, real-time monitoring and alert also. This one monitor all the threat, the vulnerability that comes into that wants to come into our system or that are already in our system. AI is the one that is acting up like this. We have that. Then we also have the robust data control that nothing can leak. Nothing can leak on our system. Nobody, before you want to even think about it, even the in-house, people who are in-house, that are the most dangerous when it comes to security, they'll get you. That's why our CEO was able to tell us that those people in India that they've taken people's money, they can dictate they should bring back that money. Any foul act that any of the founders, or we the 1.3 million founders, any misbehave, our system will dictate you. So we should be careful because our compliance team is out there. So I just want to make us to understand this, how sophisticated our system. And when the CEO also came out and talked about that, we cannot launch OnPassive without with OConnect in another environment. Bam, that was a good thing that he did. We the tech guys, we've been talking about this, 4 of us, we've been talking about this, that it is good for us to have our own data center because the magnitude of the products and that we're going to have was huge. One, you have Academy, you have OConnect, you have OChat. These are and OStaff. These are applications that are huge and they're going to consume a lot of data, and we cannot risk for them to run in another environment. Only the cost alone will be more than 1 million. I can testify on that because I've worked where my own company is not even like what we have. We pay more than $1 million to AWS. Then what about OnPassive? That OConnect is both text and voice, video. Data are coming like this. People are having conferences using OConnect in different locations, using large data, video, text, and the rest. OStaff is a very huge application for human resource that has everything in there. Those are big applications. We cannot risk to run them on a different environment. If the CEO would have come back and say, hey, guys, we have 1 year before we will launch because we need this data center, I would say yes. I would say yes. Go ahead, Mr. CEO. Because we need to have that control. We need to have that control over all our environment. Because if we don't, this guys, another provider can mess us up. If you come and tell us, like my brother Collins will say, they come and tell us, if you don't pay this money, we'll shut you down. You know what is going to happen? It's going to mess up our customers. It's going to mess up our customers. So I want to leave it there. Anteline, take it from there. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a great, great presentation. Appreciate it. Next, we have Vincent Otech, who would make a presentation as well. Come on down, Vincent.
Okay. Thank you, Anteline. Thank you, Sister Gladys. And thanks again, Marty and Jeffrey, to come to this webinar again. Thanks all the participants in this wonderful webinar. I will follow up with my brother Oliver said, so I'll give also a different point on a different direction of the advantages of multi-region data center. So multi-region data center, I will go to the 5 key points of the multi-region advantages of multi-region data center. And then, so the 5 key points, I'll start. The first one will be like cost effective. The second one will be the data security. The third one will be scale as per need, mobility, and disaster recovery. So I will start with the cost effective. The cost effective for, well, I will say that when enterprise opt for cloud data center, so the maintenance is been dealing, and then they don't have to pay any money to the maintenance cost. Everything is done by the cloud service provider. And then the second thing, I'll jump to security. Security is my brother Oliver put a feet in the security already. So one of the major concern of every business, regardless of the size or maybe an industry, is the security of its data. So this is a big concern for most of the company, but with on passive, it will not be a concern because most of our data center is built with the highest security level in like Oliver said already. So I'm not going to that because we have the highest security level. So having that security level in our data center, it is a good privilege for our customers and then also for our business as well. So I will jump also to scale pay as need, because of traditional data center, the whole or maybe on-premise system, before to build the data center or maybe to build the server room or maybe the IT infra system, we need a meeting and plan ahead for maybe 10 years of the hardware infrastructure where we need to have it in the 10 years when the need of the company. So they will plan it for the 10 years. And then sometime they can plan and buy all the resources for the company. And then even within that 10 years, you can see from some company could be waste, and some company, they have to buy again. And then all they did it is a waste. They have to spend money again. So with the cloud data center today, you don't need that. You only go for what you need. If you need for 20 or 30 capacity of data, you go for the 20 capacity of the data. And then as time going on, if your company or resources need more, you purchase for more resources and then you move forward. So this is how the scale pay as need come into place, because you pay for what you need. So you don't need to pay a lot of money or put a lot of money to the hardware system, IT, and then at the end of the day, you don't use half of them. But it's good for the cloud system today that you pay, even if big company or small company, you pay according to your needs. I'll do mobility. Mobility, the advantage of mobility, I'll give always the example of the cloud, the COVID-19. When COVID-19 in the world war happened, I know most of staff or most of employees, they were working from home. This is one of the mobility of cloud-based system, because when people are working from home, they can plug the smartphone, the devices to the system as far as they have an internet connection. And then once you have the internet connection, you can plug into your VPN, and then from the VPN, it can allow you connection to your corporate network. So that's how people, they're working from home. So the cloud-based data center, also users or maybe staff, they can do their work 24/7 because anytime is available. As far as you have an internet connection, you can plug into it, and then you can do your job 24/7. And then via your device or maybe your internet, your smartphone or whatever. So, and then the advantage of that as well, you don't have to pay any money for the upgrade your Windows system, update your maybe application, your database system, everything. You don't pay anything. So it's provided by the service provider. So they do everything for you. And then also you save a lot of time for the IT guys to do the job. So they don't have to be physically in the office. They could be remote work anywhere in the world, and then they're trying to resolve any problem for the business. So I will jump into the next part of disaster recovery. So data loss, because a lot of companies cannot afford, most companies, even whether it's a small or big company, they cannot afford for the data loss. So with the data center, it will be good for this practice, because if you're working for the multi-region data center, all the data is there. So all the data store for you, they can retrieve the data, and then they can restore them for you, just a click. So it's also a benefit, and then it's a plus for business continuity. And also, if sometime we can have a disaster in the world, natural disaster, we could have even a power cut. So we need a power cut. Not every company can afford to have a big generators or maybe power bank or uninterrupted power supplies. But all these data centers, they have all this equipment. So for anything happen to your corporate, your business, or maybe the area you are working for, the data center have the generators. They have also all the power banks to supply your business. So you have a continuity business. There's no breakdown. So the business will carry on as usual, even that you have a problem or electricity issues in that area. So this is all the advantage of the multi-region data center. So this is some of the advantage. And then I will add also that if you have a database connect to the multi-region data center, your database can be replicated to the different region of the world, so that any problem, anything happen, another data center can take it. In Azure, Microsoft Azure, we call it geolocalization. So the database, as soon as you jump to the Microsoft Cloud database, when you create the database, it's replicated in a different region of the world. So when anything happen, like I'm in UKSAT, if something happened in UKSAT, the UK North can connect, and then I can get all my resources back. And then, so that's how this multi-region database data center work is also applied to the database, because the database is multi-dimensional. So once this happen, is good for business, and then businesses are very happy. They got a lot of profit for the further, no interruption, so the business can carry on. And then some of they give you 99.99% uptime, so that your system will never ever fall down. You will be uptime all the time. And then it's like 0.01 downtime. So that means you will never have the downtime for your system, will never happen. So this is how the advantages of carry on multi-region data center. So to summarize what I said in everything, so the data center increase like productivity, the data center also improve redundancy and then the flexibility. So they deliver high availability, and then the data center also ensure that you have a business continuity. So the business continuity, and then improve also energy system, because in terms of energy, like I said earlier, if anything happened to your the energy system, they have the power bank, they have generators, they have uninterrupted power supplies. You will not affect your company because they have that already. Once anything happens, the generator will switch on from the power cut. So this is the advantage of improved security, efficiency. We have also reduced costs because you pay less money. You will not spend a lot of money for the hardware, and then after the hardware will be waste. And then the hardware, sometime after 5-10 years also, the system change. They have a new improvement like CPU, memory, or even the hard drive. Today we have a SSD. Those years we carry when I jump from one city to another, when I travel to do my job, sometimes I go to Paris, I go to Brussels. Sometimes I need to carry, sometimes they bought some discs for me, I need to carry them. But today they are just little. You just put in my, I can put in my pocket and go there, plug it in, and then the job is done. So we see that all the system has improved, and then IT hardware keep improving. So if we spend money for your better hardware system today, in the next 5-10 years, you'll see that it will be useless. You have to buy again. So being the data center, you can save you money because the service provider upgrade the system for you. You don't pay any extra cost for that. So it will also, that's why I say cost effective, you give you cost reduction, you don't pay a lot of money. And then also that you don't spend a lot of money, is there also profitability for the company? And there also is also another scalability also for the company. So this is the advantages of having a data center, multi-region data center. So Angelina, I'll leave it there.
That was awesome. Covered a lot. Thank you so much. Next, we have Bob Takusi, who is going to be speaking with us.
All right. Hello, Angeline. Greetings from Houston. I'm speaking to everyone from Houston, Texas today. Good to see you, Brother Jeffrey, again. Thank you, Brother Vincent, my brothers Oliver and Collins. Also, Gladys, thank you. And hello to all Kenyan family. It's good to be here. Let's see. I think Brother Vincent and Brother Oliver have already covered everything. So I will just add, just add a little bit more so we can absorb what we can. Very good to see you, David. David from PNG. Good to see you. So what we're talking about data center, multi-regional data centers. What do we mean when we talk about the data center? What is it? What do we mean? What is data center? So in simple terms, a data center stores and shares applications and data. It could be on-prem, like Brother Oliver said. You have a premise, you have a building in your office building. There's an area, restricted area that has a data center with big machine servers and everything in there, and it's also connected. It could also connect to the cloud, so it could be on-prem and on the cloud, like Oliver rightly puts it. Within the data center, there are several devices, several things. You have switches, you have servers, you have routers, you have a storage system or a database. A storage system or the database is within that data center. So what is the database? The database is the most important component of your system. Is the most important, as the most important thing for the company. The database contains the data of the company, right? Like our brother Mari has said to us several times, and every company's data is their money, is their wealth. So everything about the company is contained within the data. All the applications, everything, everybody that accesses the system, the network, everything is contained inside that database. Now, this database is made up of tables. you know, tables that contains columns and rows, you know, multiple tables, several tables. It's called a relational database because each table really has something that makes it relates to all the other tables. There's a column, there's something within that table that makes it connects to the other tables relationally. And then real database engineers like my brother Vincent could write complex queries to retrieve those data. So the database within the data center is a very, very critical aspect with it. So, and typically, there's usually one database, right? But it is distributed, you know, and replicated among multiple regions. It's distributed and replicated amongst multiple regions and deployed in the cloud. Remember that we are a hybrid. We are on-prem and we are also on the cloud. So that is why we are talking about multi-regional databases, because we have that capability. What our founder has done to us is to give us that capability that we could be in Washington, DC, we could be in France, in Singapore, so we can replicate ourselves all over the world with all of our databases logically. So now I'll just add a little bit of what, you know, what are some of the advantages of having this? Let me just add to what my brother Vincent just said. Disaster recovery, you know, we live in these are systems, right? Every now and then something will happen, they will go down. So, and when they go down now, because we are replicated all over the world in several regions, these databases now, when one goes down, it is very easy for us for there to be seamless continuity. You would not know, our customers, our users, they would not know that anything happens, because when one data center goes down, the applications and everything points to the one that is up. So when users come to use their systems, they don't see anything. They don't know anything that has happened. Only we in the back, we're going to do what we need to do to get it back up and let it continue to run seamlessly. So there is constant guarantee of, you know, business continuity as it relates to disaster recovery. So we don't have that problem at all. Then Oliver also talked about data sovereignty. You know, there are some countries that actually require that their data, even if you are anywhere, you're collecting your data from all parts of the world, their data is actually stored within their geographic region. So with replicated databases around the world, multi-regional data centers, we can achieve that. We are achieving that. We have a regulation, Oliver cited it here, GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR. It's a European law, which requires that the Europeans, in England and all these countries around Europe, they take data privacy very seriously. In fact, in England, where my brothers Collins and Vincent are, your email address alone is considered personal data. So any person who is collecting that data has to have the appropriate systems to maintain the control of that data, you know. So with this replicated data system, with these replicated systems, we can comply with that law and have our data collected only within Europe, especially like information that relates to personally to you. But other information, other non-personal information, like let's say you are trying to track you order something, you try to keep track of the status, where it is and stuff like that. Other non-personal information could get out of that system, but we use this replicated system to comply with those kinds of laws. Also in China also requires that all their data that is being collected is stored within the Chinese geographical area. And then maybe you can have read rights to those data centers and distribute it somehow. So this replication or multi-regional data centers help us to achieve that as well. And then one more thing I'll add, Vincent actually covered all the bases, but I want to add latency reduction. By latency reduction, we mean the speed in which you request something and you get it back. Remember how right now when we go to the back office and we request our OTP, one-time password, as you try to log in, by the time you go back to your email, the one-time password is, even before you get your email, you see it. That's zero latency. That means the system is fast. With multi-regional data centers, this actually is even tenfolds, because we have our data centers all over the world. So there's in networking, once you try to access a system, you go into a router, you are being routed through a router. There are several routers within a system, an organization system, all over the world. So we have what they call hop counts. So for instance, if you are in Japan and their server, the main server was in Washington, DC, you have to do several hop counts, jump several routers, and it takes time for that router to find. They have what they call the shortest path, the open shortest path. That's how the router wants you to get to your server or to the database where the data is. But now with multi-dimensional, with multi-regional data centers, you have less hop count. So you might only just do one hop, get to one router and then to your database. So that reduces the latency. That's what is happening to give us this speed that we see. So we have less hop count, and that also generates a lot of efficiency, and everybody's happy. You know, when you access a system and it's just fast, pam, pam, pam. As Mr. Ash is saying, that is what is happening. The multi data centers are going to help us achieve good latency, maximum 100% uptime, no downtime, and stuff like that, as Vincent told us. And lastly, what I want to add is, you know, just the ingenuity of our founder, Mr. Ash Mufarah, for him, you know, coming up with this unique idea of making sure that we have our own data center with our own data, with our own total control of our information and our data, because the key to any company is their data. We couldn't, it was, you know, all of us spoke here, all of us, the IT guys here, we spoke together. And when we finally got the full scope of OnPassive, we realized that it was very, very, very paramount for us, or for Mr. Ash, to have our own data center where we host our own data. So we have 110% control of ourselves. It would have been not a good thing for us to have all this system that Oliver just told us, the amount of data that's coming in, all kinds of information, personal, our trade secret and everything, and then host it with Amazon AWS. And then AWS have this elastic EC3, they have this elastic thing where we are going to be receiving a lot of data. Mr. Ash is telling us that we're going to attract almost all 7 billion people on Earth plus dogs are going to come into our system, right? What do you think Amazon is going to do? They're going to charge us more, like this tells us all the time. They're going to charge us more and they'll say, hey, here's a new price. If you don't want it, you quit. So Mr. Ash has come in and he has created us, giving us that anonymity. Say, hey, we have our own systems, we can host our own system, and guess what? We're a cloud service provider, AI-driven, fiber optics, everything, 5G network, as Oliver has said. We are also going to be providing those services to other customers, right? We're going to do what most likely Amazon is doing, but even better. Remember, we are AI-driven. OnPassive is building everything from scratch with artificial intelligence. So we are better. We are going to be better and provide more value and less price, cost-effective to customers. So our bottom line, like brother Mike Ellis always tells us, our bottom line, we as founders, Mr. Ash has promised us that he's going to share some of these profits. The data center is one of our physical products, you know. So our bottom line is going to be good too. I was in a conference last week, guys, and there's a company called the Gardner Corporation. They do technology research and they publish numbers. They are projecting that this year alone, $1.3 trillion will be spent on cloud service and some specialized services on cloud. But by 2025, it's going to jump up to 1.8 trillion. So Ash Mufarah brings us squarely, puts us here, and gives a product that has more value to the customers, because all our products are going to give more value and save more money to our customers' bottom line. So let me just end there for now, and I'll send it back to Auntie Lynn.
Wow, wow, wow. That was amazing. That information alone. I believe that we are all in a great shape here because we are with OnPassive. If you think about it, let me bring Bob back to the screen. If you think about it, you know, there's so many advantages to having our own data center. And we've talked about them. The four of you have already discussed it. But in a nutshell, you know, autonomy for the company, security for us,
Yes.
savings, cost savings, hundreds of thousands a month being saved, maybe millions, just because we don't have to pay a third-party cloud service provider. In addition, as you mentioned, the revenue that this company is going to gain through providing cloud services to companies around the world. And because we are a superior cloud service provider, people will come to us, and we're offering these services at a price that cannot be beat. So this is going to bring in huge revenue for us, right? Huge.
I don't want to call his company's name, but Collins company, I don't know if he has the right to say that in a public forum. They spend $25 million a month for their cloud service, you know? So just imagine, and we are going to be bigger than that company because we are all over the world. So just imagine the amount of data that is going to be within our data center if we were to be paying that to another provider. So Ash Mufarad brings us tremendous savings too, embarking on this initiative.
Exactly. And you know, because our products are unlimited, there's no caps to usage of our products. There's even more so a tremendous amount of data that we have. And it would be cost prohibitive, really, if you think about it, to be paying millions a month to a third-party provider. It just makes sense that we have our own data center. Yeah.
Yes.
Of millions a month, right? I would say.
Yeah.
Because of the data, the volume of data, right?
Yes.
So it just makes sense. And as you all mentioned, even before this happened, that you believe that would be a wise decision to have our own data center. So you saw it coming. You guys predicted.
We saw it coming. Yeah, we predicted that actually. Yes.
That's really awesome. All right. Thank you so much. Now we've had the four IT professionals speak. Oh no, we need Collins. Collins, our fourth professional, he's going to come in now and speak to us.
Yeah, so thank you, Auntie Lynn. Just want to thank the tech guys, you know, Oliver, Vincent, and Bob. They've just they've just said everything. So honestly, there is nothing to say, but I just want to give like a general conclusion. I'll just touch 5 points, you know, and this will summarize all what they have said here today. You know, one of the first point is, you know, lot of company pays a lot of money, as we already said now, you know, to the data center to host their data. And what is data? Data is money. You know, there is no way, like we are sitting on Zoom now, if we don't have data, there is no way we can connect to Zoom. We have to register, log in, put all your personal information before we're able to even go into Zoom to see this. You know, so this data we are using is money. Your cash in your bank is money. So one of the things is we'll take from this webinar, data is money. It's a lot of money. And those who have data center, they are making huge source of revenue. When we look at, I'll just call it Amazon. It's not the marketplace. It's the data center that has made this man the wealthiest man on this planet Earth. Is the data center, because they pay a lot of money to use AWS, the cloud service and the data center. That is one. And remember, when you think about that, reflect on passive. How much do you think OnPassive will pay to AWS or to Microsoft Azure? It's a lot of money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. As you go larger, the more you grow, the more you pay. Because remember, the software, you cannot use it like the software is nothing without data. There's no way you can use software without data. The moment you put your data, it must be hosted somewhere. And when it goes in there, they must charge you for that. It's like electricity bill or water bill. The more you consume, the more you pay. So that is it. That's the first point we must take from this webinar. The second point is, because we are having our own data center, what happened? OnPassive will save a lot of money. What will you prefer? To keep your money in your wallet or to put it in someone else's wallet? Once you put it there, there's no way. Because you're thinking that the moment the person tells you, put it in my wallet, you have to pay the person for keeping your money. But when you keep it in your own wallet, you don't have to pay anybody. So it means the revenue that OnPassive will pay out there, now it belongs to OnPassive in-house. That's the second point we must take from this webinar. The third point I want to say is, you know, our data center is what? It is secure, it is safe, and it is superior. Our brothers have already said it. The 3S, Bro Oliver always said it, Bro Bob always said it, the 3S, secure, safe, and superior. It is superior because it's modern technology. It is safe because the security behind is massive. They already talk about it. You know, the security behind is massive, latest technology and secure. That is what we have to take from this webinar. That is the third point. And the other one is cost effective. So those who will be coming in, they will not pay any, they will pay, compare with Microsoft Azure, compare with this. Mr. Ashmofara is not driven. Our CEO, we know, it's not driven by money. So it will make it in a way that lot of people, company will fall in love to come into OnPassive, because where will you go if you own a company? Will you go to a company that will charge you hundreds of millions of dollars, or will you come to a company that has the product which is superior and is cost effective? No company want to lose money in this modern age, because they want, most companies now, they are out there to make profit, and they'll look, you know, they'll look for a company with the cheapest product and a company that will give them the value for their money. Where would they go to? OnPassive. That's what we're thinking about. And then the last point I want to make is the reason why we are doing this. We are doing this not because we want to teach people technology. It's because we want to make people to understand that OnPassive is an IT company that builds solutions and services for small, medium, and large size company. And even for small biz like you and I, will be using ONet, OConnect, all of those things. Some of us use WhatsApp, all of those things. You know, the generation now is about technology. Without technology, we are out. As I always say in most webinars, if you don't follow the well of technology, you'll be left behind. Remember, they used to write word when you go to the bank, it was check. Now in UK, there is no check anymore. You go, maybe elderly people use check because that is it. But now check is wiping out. It's digital. Everything is digital. Now your mobile phone, you can scan and money will just come out from your wallet, from your bank account to somewhere. Your phone, with your phone. They have Apple Pay. I think in US, they still have it. All of those things. So everything is going digital. If you don't go by what it is now, you'll be left behind. So we are talking about a global IT company coming with real solution. So for those who are watching online, thinking OnPassive is just an online business or call it that way, I want to tell you today that OnPassive is the giant that is coming, a big player in the IT company, the IT sphere. You cannot count them without calling OnPassive. Take a look at Dubai, take a look at everywhere. It is blowing everywhere. And this is where we are. This is the generation. Massive, massive coming. It will be a big player. And that is why we are doing this, just to expose OnPassive, to tell you, OnPassive is not what you think. It's an IT company building solutions, both physical and digital products that will blow the world, blow mankind. I just want to thank Mr. Ashmofara, you know, for providing this and for doing this with heart, because it's a company with heart. Without the heart, there will be nothing. So I'll thank you, Lynn, and I'll leave it there. Thank you.
That was mind-blowing, Collins. I hope everybody can see what's coming in the future. We are all in a great place. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to have Jeffrey Morler come down and talk to us. And I'm going to bring in everybody to the screen as we wrap up. And if we have time, we'll have some question and answer period as well. So come on down, Jeffrey.
Wow, you guys did it again. Man, my mind gets like popcorn. you guys get talking. I love it. I love it. I love it. And thank you so very much. A comment just before I get started here, Lynn, a little bit ago, you were talking about the money that we saved. And, you know, as exciting as that is, I love the idea about the freedom, because we get to define and set our own parameters, our own gates, or the freedom to write our own data rules, if you will. And that is absolutely priceless. And man, life is good for us. But anyway, thank you so very much. I appreciate you inviting me into this and allowing me to participate. I mean, this is a great group. And guys, you are providing so much tremendous value to our founders. Thank you so very much for all that you do. And you do it with consistency. So I'm blessed to be here and I appreciate that. And obviously today we're talking about regional data centers. We've been developing them since last November. I think there's 6 or 7 of them, maybe. I'm not sure, but that's close enough to start with, right? Close enough for government work. And last webinar, Lynn, with the ProTechs, we spoke, well, actually, I spoke a little bit about our speed, which our techs have talked about, you know, various centers, the types of various centers and things. And so, because I believe that the first data center that we have is going to be a core data center, I'd like to go over some of that again with this audience too, if that's all right. When I say that I think that our first data center is probably going to be a core data center, because there's 3 main types of data centers. The first one is the big ones, the large facilities called core data centers that we find in large markets, large data center markets, major markets like Silicon Valley or Hyderabad, high-tech city in India. And last webinar, we also equated this with kind of being the foundation. If you're building a home, a core data center is the foundation in that home. And when you get above the foundation, you're talking about regional data centers. Of course, that's what we're talking about today. And regionals are a little smaller. They're typically located in large metropolitan areas, but they're not huge data center markets. And this is kind of like the framing of your house. And then the third one is what we call edge data centers. And they're just smaller. They're kind of sporadic. They're in more decentralized areas. And if you equated that to your home, it'd be like whatever the walls are made of, you know, sheetrock or paneling or whatever goes up on the walls. Now, like Oliver talked earlier, we have the first data center that we've got coming out. It's going to be accommodating about 1 billion people. And that is absolutely phenomenal. And it's huge as far as the industry goes, right? As far as the tech giants goes, that is a big deal, because not only does it handle that many people, but that many people that will be running multiple products, multiple applications at the same time. And I got to throw another plug in for Mr. Muzaffar on the roundtable earlier this week, because man, if you go in there and listen to what he says, you're going to get a much bigger picture of where we are. And that's kind of what I want to do with data centers right here now, is to give you a bigger picture. So our first data center is going to be able to handle that many people with that many products. And I don't mean just 2 or 3 products. I mean 20 or 30 products, which means that we're going to have 20 or 30 billion applications. So this is no small feat, right? And it was also said earlier that when we log on and when we're doing all this, it's not even going to blink. And that denotes a couple of things. First of all, our prowess, how powerful we are that we can handle that, and how much we have gone into this. And secondarily, it talks to speed. And we've mentioned speed 2 or 3 times here. And that is absolutely important, because in the world of technology, speed is everything right now, right? And we know that future-ready data centers, which is exactly what Mr. Muzaffar is bringing us and bringing to the world, those types of data centers are wrapped around the idea of being simpler and a lot more adaptive with their infrastructure, so they're capable of responding to change and disruption in the market, which is happening at light speed right now. And I think, Oliver, you talked a little about that last night, and possibly even a little bit in the webinar before this. But I mean, passive is disruptive, so we don't have to sweat that. That's the other guy's problem, right? Anyway, everybody's heard of silos. I used silos as a way to kind of edge into this thing. And silos, if you've ever watched or looked at a farm and seen these big buildings that are standing there, maybe you're driving down the highway or something, right? And you see a big farm and you got these huge, they're storage buildings. And they can be set apart or they can be set in a group. It doesn't matter really how you see them. But the point is, those silos aren't connected. So in technology, we have something that's called a technology silo. And they're similar to that in a way, in that they refer to applications or software that are kind of in one spot, set aside from other software and applications, and they don't really communicate with each other, meaning that the data that they have isn't easily accessed, or it isn't interacted with or connected to by other applications or other departments and such. This type of disconnection, this non-connectivity, as it were, hinders us. It slows down our capacity to operate, because various departments have to have specific information in order to do their work efficiently. Now, I say this because OnPassive is alleviating those types of inefficiencies, those data silos, if you will, in 3 big ways. And I think it was thanks to Mr. Fonte, I can't remember which one, but one of you brought up, actually Oliver, you talked about fiber optics. So last hour I had 2 ways. This is the 3rd big way that we're getting rid of those data silos, if you will. And the first one is obviously the fiber optic cabling that we're talking about. Oliver talked about it a little bit ago. It has near zero resistance, right? So data is moving really, really fast in this thing. And by fast, I mean, as opposed to copper or aluminum or some sort of a metallic wiring, right, for instance. And what I'm referencing here, we're talking directly to, is what Bob talked about a little bit ago that we call latency reduction, which with Mr. Mufara's systems is going to be near 0. I'm telling you, this is super fast, right? Super fast. Secondarily, we have AI and automation that's undergirding everything and is billions of times faster than humans ever thought about being, right? And third, because of our software, our apps, the programs, the automation, in and between the departments, they all communicate seamlessly with each other, not only within each other and within the departments, but within the data centers, between the data centers, even at a global level. And this speed is going to be absolutely disruptive, and it's going to be disruptive to our advantage. So again, we don't have to worry about it. It's the other guy's problem, right? But once we go live with these data centers, the whole idea is to have everybody in OnPassive, all the members, founders, everybody connected to a data center close to them, or connected to a data center in their region, or at least a region is close to them. And eventually, you know, we'll get it. But we're going to start with a few continentally placed data centers, eventually scale it, and we're going to end up with them in either every country or every other country, and create a global net. If you think of a basketball net, and then you put a basketball in there, think of how that makes a net around the globe. That's what we're going to end up with. And it is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Having that kind of a network in place with the power and the speed that we've got, that's going to give us the redundancy that Bob talked about just a few minutes ago, right? And that is very, very, very crucial, not only to our operations, but to the value that Marty talked about in the last webinar. And this is a big reason why we will be the hunted. So there's going to be a lot of data centers, right? They're going to be operating, and they're going to be operating at lightning speed. So hang on, that journey we're on is just getting going. It's all happening. It's happening right now. Thanks.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Wow. The data silo concept is very interesting to me. So thank you for bringing that up. It gives us another perspective that we may not have had when we came to the webinar. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to be wrapping up soon. I'd like to ask Bob if you would be willing to talk about the benefits of becoming a founder, maybe about 5 minutes, because we need to end soon. We do have guests here who would love to know, in a nutshell, why they might want to become part of this great company. Thank you.
Wow. The benefits of becoming, why become a founder? I've been doing presentations for a while, for a couple of years. So this is a good question to ask. There are three fundamental reasons for those. If there's anybody here who's joining us for the first time, there are three fundamental reasons that I tell people all the time, you know, that they should become a founder, if not yesterday, you know. Number one, you don't have to talk to anybody to make money with this company. You don't need to go sell. When you come in as a founder, it is not an MLM. It's not a network marketing or one of these schemes, that pyramid scheme that you have to come in and then you go on recruiting people. No, because most of us, I'm an African, I know most of my people, we don't know how to recruit people. So that's number one solid reason. You don't have to talk to anybody to make money. This company is automated, all built for you from the scratch. The system goes out, finds customers for you, brings them back for you, does everything for you. It's an automated system, 100% automated. So you don't need to talk to anybody to make money. That's a fact. Number two, there's no ownership, what they call ownership in the net or in the MLM industry. There's no monthly fee that is coming out from your wallet, from your account every month. As a matter of fact, here they don't even collect your credit card information. When you come on board, you're going to make a one-time pay. You're going to come in as a founder. You pay your founder's fee to become a member of this club, of this prestigious club, which we have 1.3 million founders right now. You pay that one-time fee, and then when the company launches to the world, which we all know as we've begun the process, and then you're going to activate yourself one time. You do that so that to open, it's like you have a store, and then you activate it to open it up for customers to come in, for the company to start doing her job for you. So that fee is a one-time payment, which is somewhere under $300. Okay, so it's confusing, Jeffrey. So you are going to make that payment once, and then the system goes to work for you. They're never going to come to you, to your wallet, to ask for money from you anymore. No, the system is going to go out, find customers, bring customers to your website. You create an instant website for you with all the products of OnPassive associated to that website. They are selling these products for you, bringing in customers, taking a little commission and giving it to you. That's how you get paid. So all is done for you, and then they're going to continuously take their monthly service fee from your commission, not coming from your account anymore. You just make this payment one time. That's what I want to emphasize, okay? And the third reason why I ask people to run like hell to join OnPassive is her products. Her products. I'm in the IT industry. My brothers who are here, they are in the IT industry. Collins, Oliver, Vincent, Mr. Moloch is well versed with some of the products. We use these products every day. All of them, a variation of these products. We are saying that the products of OnPassive are the best. There's nothing in the industry right now that compares to anyone. If I start to talk about OConnect or OStaff, all the products of OnPassive, they are superior. They're superior to everything that we have in the industry. That's number one thing. Number two, the system is the most sophisticated system that has ever been built that we know of. At the underlying layer of this infrastructure of OnPassive is artificial intelligence. You know, automated to work for you round the clock. The system does not sleep. While you are asleep, the system is working for you. So it's a very, very sophisticated system, and it is secure. We've spoken to our founder, Mr. Ash Mufare, and we know about the security of OnPassive, top of the line security. There's one product that I would like to, if you permit me, Antilene. There's one product, because most people, if there are any founder, if there are any new customers, if there are any guests here tonight, so people get confused. They're like, okay, what do you mean? I don't have to do anything. How does the company, how does this all work? Most people believe that you have to go to work and then to earn money and stuff. This is 21st century technology, state-of-the-art cutting-edge technology. There's a product that is working for you. That product is called OChat. OChat is a customized conversational chatbot solution. It's a product that has been built like a human being. OChat is like your customer service. The OChat is constantly working behind the scenes for you while you are asleep. So when customers will come to your website, they will come. Ash Mufara is a master of artificial intelligence. So he's going to send traffic customers to us, all the founders to our websites, right? When those customers come, who do they meet? OChat. OChat is there, is the one taking payments for you, is the one giving free trials, is the one answering all the questions, doing everything. And when there's a situation where OChat cannot respond, OChat will synchronize with the back office, and a real life representative will come up and speak to you. This is a product that I can take about 30 minutes to describe, but I will just stop here.
Thank you so much. I know it's you need a bit more than 5 minutes to talk about the essence of OnPassive. We all realize that.
Yeah.
And the topic of today's webinar was multi-region data centers, but there are some guests here. I know.
You took me aback, yeah.
I know, it's like, I knew you could figure out a way to do a short presentation. So thanks so much, appreciate you. All right, we need to wrap it up because we are going into another webinar. Julie and Milo show will begin and they'll be logging in a few minutes. So in due respect, because we're using the same account, this corporate account, right? So we need to respect that. So although I see we have a couple of hands raised, if William can speak for 1 minute and David can speak for 1 minute, we can do it. William, can you limit to 1 minute? If so, go ahead and speak. 1 minute. Go ahead, William.
All right, I'll turn my camera on. I've listened to a lot of webinars with Engineer Mike and Lynn with their presentation on security and data centers. Now, my question is that we have multi-level multi-region data centers. Now, I believe what he's doing is having that in cloud. Am I correct? What you call hybrid? And because I am putting the dots together because O-Connect is coming out. I'm very tickled about that. Can you give me any opinions on it coming out quickly like that? Because I know how fiber optics works. It's better than electricity because electricity travels like lightning.
Okay. So what is your question? Because we need to wrap it up, William.
Oh, yes.
I think he wants to know if when the data center might be ready, maybe Jeffrey can answer that.
Real short and quick answer, Jeffrey.
Yeah, well, the quick and dirty for the data center is we should probably by the end of the weekend, perhaps. I mean, I can't hold Mr. Muzaffar to this, but I would imagine we're going to hear when the date is, or at least when the tentative go live date for our first core data center is going to be. We can't tell you definitively, when's that going to happen? A week, 2 weeks, 2 months, 5 years? Who knows? It's a journey. It's a process. We know we're getting closer every day. And I would expect by the end of this week to have a pretty good date in mind about when it'll actually start. But keep in mind, just because we open that data center doesn't mean we're opening for business. It just means we're migrating everything that is OnPassive to it. And now we can access it and just do a lot of good magic. That's when the real magic starts.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeffrey.
I believe O-Connect is going to be very awesome because communication is very important for business.
Very, very
Let
good.
me take that in 2 minutes.
Okay, I'm going to have to interject here because we want to take David, and we're going way over time. So we'll have David speak. Go ahead, David.
thank you, Lynn, and thank you, Gladys, for hosting this webinar. It's very interesting and very knowledgeable. I just want to share this. You know, if we have any insecurity and feeling of insecurity of what sort of business we are in, I tell you, we are in a place where the creator of this business, Ash, is a master business strategist. And when you look at it, he has created a business that is secure, that is sustainable because of the way he has structured the products and created the systems that will uphold the business. And so when you talk about scalability and for me as a banker, I look at the economy of scale and economy of scope when a product is being created, how long it can last, how long, and the marketplace that we are in. We are in such an industry. It's a digital technology. We are the age we are moving in, and this is the industry that is making money. So you and I are in a perfect place, in a perfect business, and he has created everything that is securing us, and we do not need to fear anything. So I'm very comfortable with the business that I'm in, and I'm a proud founder to be here. And I thank Ash. Thank you for his vision. You know, we're all drawn to the vision, and now that we are seeing what is coming out from the business and from the way the tech guys are explaining, I am so comfortable and I'm safe. You know, I'm in a business that is safe and that will carry me forward. Thank you.
That was a beautiful concluding share today. I think it's a fitting end to our webinar today. Thank you, David. I think we share your sentiment. We appreciate your presence here today. Thank you, William, for understanding our time constraints, but you did get your question answered. I'm glad for that. So thank you all for being here. This On Passive Kenya webinar is a weekly webinar, which happens every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. We post it in the back office as well as on social media. Please spread the word, bring people to the webinar. We are so grateful that you are here, and we hope that we provided value to you and that you now have a better understanding of data centers as well as multi-region data centers. So on behalf of Gladys Navarro, our host today, and myself, thank you very, very much for being here. Now you can all unmute and say bye-bye to one another.
Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. We love you.
Thank you,
Thank
Jeffrey.
you so much. Thank
Bye,
you
all. Good night.
For
Bye,
Philadelphia.
everybody.
Bye,
We
bye.
love you all.
Bye, Jeff.
Thank you all.
Good day, guys.
We help so many people.
Hey, everybody should roll on over to the Julie Milo show.
Yes,
that's
we're
right.
on our way.
Yes.
It's posted in the back office. Head on over there. See you there.
Bye.
Aloha to everyone. Bye-bye now.